Hi guys, Ashley here. Today I'm going to be giving you my very exciting review of Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor. If you did not know, Strange the Dreamer is about a boy named Laszlo Strange. He is an orphan and he works in the library. He has a deep fascination with the city of Weep, which is a long lost forgotten city. No one knows what happened to it, why it disappeared, and there's just a lot of mystery behind it. Now, one day, the hero, Godslayer Errol Fane, comes to visit the town that he resides in, asking Laszlo to come with him to discover the problems that plague Weep. They have an issue, it needs to be solved, and Laszlo can help. Laszlo sees this as his chance to hop on that journey, travel with Errol Fane and his Tizarkane warriors, and solve the mysteries of Weep for himself. And along with that, he starts having these mysterious dreams of a blue-skinned goddess. Why is he having these dreams? He hasn't even met her. He doesn't know who she is. He just knows he's having dreams about her. If the gods were long dead, why is he dreaming about them? That's really all I can say, and I'm saying those things because they were on the summary of the dust jacket. So I'm just finding it really hard to describe what this is about. If you didn't see already, this video is pretty long, or I'm assuming it's gonna be 20 to 30 minutes. So you know I freaking loved it. I had some feelings to say about this book, so buy it, read it, let's discuss. This is not the usual US edition. This is the beautiful UK edition, the first printing. It has the blue sprayed pages, which smell kind of funky. I don't like that, but it's really pretty. Yeah, I really enjoyed this book, guys, so much. I only gave it 4 out of 5 stars. I do have to say the lead up is a little meh. It didn't feel like a complete arc to me. It wasn't a complete story arc. It kind of felt like half an arc. Definitely, you can tell this is an opening book. It is a setup book leading to the rest of the series, which I'm kind of disappointed in because I heard it's only a duology, so that the first book is kind of a setup, and especially the first half. Trust me, this book is beautifully written. The language is so scrumptious, it's so delicious. It is the bomb. Bomb. Her writing is so interesting to read, but what she's actually writing about isn't that compelling, I found, just because a lot of it is background information and trying to describe this world to you, the world of Weep. It's very much Laszlo and his eyes discovering the mystery along with him. And so the first 200 pages or so, I did struggle a little bit. This wasn't a fast read to me. I did struggle a little bit with this part of it, but trust me, once you reach the middle, and that seems like a long way to go, like go 50% of the book, and it's not like a bad 50%, it's just I'm not forced or compelled to like, I need to keep reading. I would put it down, read a lot, put it down, you know. But once you reach this point, shit goes down. Trust me, stuff is gonna happen and you will not, I can't even express. You will not want to put it down. It's amazing. In a way, it does kind of feel like you're reading a fable of sorts, like this folktale type thing. And I've never read Laini before, so I don't know if Daughter of Smoke and Bone is that way, but I do like how the story unfolded before you. It's really nice to follow, and again, it is very much like an information overload, but not dumpy in that sense. It didn't feel too much. It felt like you were reading a fable and it was unfolding, and it kept going and then boom, it hit you. So that's all I can say without spoiling the rest of this book. So if you haven't read this book, get out of here. What are you doing? Go buy this so we can discuss it. Alright, goodbye. If you have not read the book, goodbye. Wah. Alright, hey people who have read the book. Hey, how you doing? Let's discuss. So first we start out with Laszlo. His name is Laszlo Strange. And Strange, his name is like a common name, sort of like Jon Snow. If you're a bastard, you're branded the name Stone. That's the same with Laszlo. He's branded Laszlo Strange. So Laszlo basically like grew up in the library. He has this deep knowledge and fascination with the city of Weep, which one of the monks told him about. It's this forbidden city, and Weep isn't the actual name to the lost city. It's something else, but all people can remember it is as Weep. So and we never get to really solve that, so I'm interested to see how that's going down. Laszlo, he has this deep life work anthologies of all his findings of Weep, all that, and then this poop face, what's his name? Theon. Let's talk about Theon for a second. Is he good? Am I even pronouncing his name right? Theon. I'm thinking Theon because of Game of Thrones, that character Theon, so let's just go with that. So Theon, he realizes that Laszlo has this whole collection on the city of Weep, his years, his life's work of knowledge, and what does he do? He takes it from him. He claims it for himself. And I can't believe that Laszlo just gave it to him. I would be so pissed off. Don't give that to him, no. But anyway, it comes in his favor because since Theon is using it for selfish reasons, when the once believed myth, the Tizarkane warriors come to his city with Aerofane, the God Slayer. They come from Weep. That people can't believe it. They're like, we thought this was a myth, but it's true. They come to Weep. Laszlo can't believe it. He's fangirling, his form of fangirling, I think, or maybe just fascination in their presence. They say that Weep has an issue that needs to be solved and they need recruits. So they recruit a bunch of people that are like engineers, builders, architects, stuff like that. They're holding a call for people to join them. Of course, they want to take Theon, who comes with his whole knowledge of Weep because he took Laszlo's collection, but whole and behold, the Godslayer is impressed with Laszlo because he can speak the common tongue. He just has this deep passion for Weep that Theon does not. Yes, Theon knows everything, basically because he cheated off of Laszlo's work, but he does not have his same drive and passion towards it, so Laszlo gets to go with them. And apparently Laszlo just becomes a man on this journey. They're gone for quite a while. They go across that desert, the Alamuthalath, that desert. You know. Why am I so bad at pronouncing stuff? Anyway, I kind of wish we saw his transformation and journey through the desert, and you see glimpses of it, but I do understand pacing wise we don't got time for that. So they go across the desert, they go to Weep, and then we get another alternating chapter from Sarai's point of view. And at first I was like, who are these people? People, creatures, gods. Godspawn. The Godspawn. They were so difficult at first when initially reading. I'm like, how do they play into this? I was very confused, like what they were. But they're like Godspawn. So long ago in the city of Weep, the people were taken by the gods, almost enslaved, and some of them were like sex slaves. Mostly they would take women and they would be gone for months and months and months. They had these tattoos on their stomach, and then when they would come back, the tattoos would be stretched out and damaged, so it's under the assumption that they became pregnant up there and they were just released back. They'd be gone for years, months. And then him and Azarine were married, and instead of her being traditionally taking the woman, he was taken by the goddess of despair, and we find out that their offspring, their child between Aerofane and the goddess of despair, is actually Sarai. So Aerofane is actually Sarai's dad. Yeah, so the Godspawn, the blue-skinned people up there, they are the children between the people and the gods. How interesting. And they live up in this little thing in the sky. Then we find out that Aerofane is labeled the Godslayer for a reason. He basically took revenge on all of them those 15 years ago, and he killed all the gods, including children and babies. Yes, this is where my dilemma occurs, because the Godspawn hate the people of Weep, and the Weep people hate the gods for proper reason. They were like basically enslaved and taken against their will. So yes, but then also like Sarai has a reason to hate them because they just killed innocent children. It's very complicated, very complex. He killed all the babies except for the few that we know. Sarai, Pharaoh, Minya, and Pharaoh. So Minya was the one who saved all of them, but remember she like stunted at growth, so she looks like a 6-year-old, I believe, which is weird. I don't know. When Laszlo gets back to the city of Weep, finally, the problem they're trying to solve is that they have that floating citadel in the sky, and it basically doomed the city of Weep into like eternal darkness. No plants can grow. They are covered from the sun, blocked by the sun, whatever you want to call it, by this floating citadel. They don't know how to move it. It's just anchored magically in the sky. So that's why they have all these engineers and architects to try to figure out. Maybe they're going to try to create some flying machines to get up there, and that's what they do, and I'll get to that, but yes. And so they don't know people are living up there. They don't know that Sparrow and Sarai and all them are just chilling up there. They're just chilling up there. And the citadel isn't like a normal citadel. It's made out of this weird like blue metal. It forms, it's like a living thing, but it's metal, and it's in some parts of the city of Weep. And when Laszlo touches it and his hands turn gray, oh god, dropped my book. When he touches it, I knew. I freaking knew. His hands were gray and everyone else touched it and they were fine. I'm like, why are his hands gray? Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Something's weird with him. Like, he's a god spawn. He's a god spawn. He has to be. He has to be. He has to be. There's something. And who was right? I was right. I was right. Woo! He's a god spawn. Getting ahead of myself. Anyway, okay, yeah, Sarai. So she has the ability to go into people's dreams. She stands at night and moths come out of her. Like, ugh. That is so weird. Anyway, so her moths release into the city of Weep. When they land on you, she can like see inside your head, and that's how her and Laszlo start communicating. He's the only one ever that has actually been able to physically see her and be aware of her presence and talk to her. And so that's how they get to know each other. And of course, she's so infatuated with this, and then she's becoming on the human side, I guess. And this was another sign. He's the only one that can talk to you. And what are you? You're a god spawn. His hands turn gray when he touches this freaky metal that you guys have. Laszlo's a god. He has to be a god. And honestly, yeah, he's an orphan, so we don't know where the heck he came from. So he has to be a god, and you know, I was right, so there's just more hints I was right. Yeah. I found their romance, I wasn't a big fan of it. I liked it, don't get me wrong, I totally ship it, but when she started appearing in his dream, I was like, okay, they're gonna like fall in love or whatever, some shit. It wasn't my favorite aspect of the story. It's not why I like the story. Some books I like. I think just like the overall build-up of this world in general is so interesting that the romance to me was just like, okay, so whenever they would meet in their dreams, I would like it, but I don't know, sometimes it was weird, like very Alice in Wonderland-esque to me, I feel like, because they could just like conjure up whatever the heck they wanted, especially that part where they turned blue. She was normal and he was blue. Another sign that he was a god spawn. Just saying. Just saying. Oh, the blue thing. It's called mesalthium. Mesalthium? What did I write? Mesalthium. 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 I don't know what that is. They do create like a flying machine to go up to the Citadel. Azarine, Aerofine, and Laszlo, they go up in that flying machine, and lo and behold, they're greeted by the god spawn. And of course, Sarai sees them, and she's like, oh my gosh, there he is. There's Laszlo in the flesh. And then he sees her, and he's like, oh my god, she's real. She wants them to get out because then Minya releases her army of ghosts on them, spirits, because Minya can trap people's spirits, and they're like basically they're pretty fleshy, but they can't be killed, so they're trying to stab him and stuff, and it just goes straight through them, and so they're screwed. So they go back down, they tell the people of Weep they didn't find anything, and it's over, blah blah blah. Of course, Theon has been trying to use his power to create something that will get rid of the metal mesalthium blue metal wall that's there. He's trying to blow it up and take a bit of it out, because as I know, it's indestructible. You can do anything to it, it won't move. And so he's doing this thing where he's taking his own spirit out of him and putting it into some type of formula to try to crack it, but it doesn't work. So he takes Laszlo's spirits and it works. A bit of it comes off. Once again, why does Laszlo's spirit work? Because he's a god spawn. On my notes, I'm like, he's a god spawn. I knew it. And then also, I think when Laszlo, he shows Laszlo the bit that like came off and he touches it, it leaves an imprint on it. Again, I mean, you're a god spawn and we already know it, so, yeah. So that's all going well, and then Drave comes by and he blows up the wall, and then an earthquake happens and everything starts melting, and then it's just, what's happening? What's happening? The earth is splitting and people are dying. The anchors that are holding the citadel down, they start moving. The anchors are moving. The anchors are holding the citadel, and the citadel starts moving. And I'm like, oh shit. Do y'all remember that prologue in the beginning when we don't really know what's happening? We just know in the city of Weep, a girl falls from the sky and gets impaled on gates, and her skin is blue and she has plums. And I had totally forgotten about that until this part when the earthquake sort of thing was started happening, and I was like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Someone's gonna die, they have blue skin and plums. So in my head, I'm like, no, it can't be Sarai. She's our main character. She just got that thing going with Laszlo. No way that she would die this quickly. And so my first thought was, I think Minya and Sparrow were having like that argument in the garden. So I was like, oh my gosh, Minya's gonna get mad. She's gonna push Sparrow off the citadel and she's gonna fall. And since she is the one who tends to the garden and can bring the plants to life, that's why there were plums and stuff. And then I thought it was gonna be Minya if it went the other way, but nope. We keep going towards the end, there's Laszlo. He feels this like attraction to the metal and starts like pulling on it with his mind, and then he turns full on blue all of a sudden. Did he just snap and it was blue? I don't know. It was weird. And he just turned blue, and then he's a, I was right. That's when I was like screaming. I was like, yes, he's a god spawn. I knew it. He's blue. And then it's Sarai that falls. Sarai is the one who falls, and she dies. Not even fake death like in some other books where they die and they come back to life. No, she straight up dies. Sarai dies, and she's dead. Straight up dead. Minya, remember, she has that power to keep people's spirits and hold them as a ghost form. And so now she's a ghost because under Minya's control. And since Minya's bad, you can't free her because she's under Minya. And Minya basically gives Laszlo an ultimatum because he brings her to the Citadel after that. And she's like, yo, you better do what I say or I'm gonna release Sarai and you're never gonna see her again. And Laszlo's like, it's okay, I'll still love her as a ghost, but what? Oh, that's not fun. They better come up with some weird voodoo judo spell stuff to make her a human again. I know the ghost, you can physically touch him. There's no difference between being a ghost under Minya's control than a normal person, except for the fact that you can just snap your fingers and they be gone, I guess, because they're dead. So if she stays like that forever and she doesn't go back to human, will she age? Can ghosts age? Can they control that? Or will she just look like that forever? Does Laszlo age because he's a god spawn? I'm so confused. I don't know. I just have a lot of questions. I don't really know all the mythology and technicalities of being a god spawn. And oh yeah, duh, Laszlo's Minya's sister. That's interesting. Yeah, I really don't like Minya, guys. I don't like her. What is she gonna do? She hates all the humans. What is she gonna do to them? I just want... how is he gonna live her as a ghost? I don't understand. No. So many problems. So many problems. And I want Sarai to meet her dad, Arelphane, and I hope Arelphane can get over his hatred and I guess semi-racism towards the god spawn, but you know, who knows. I feel like he will be in the next book. He can be more sympathetic to the cause because he does like Laszlo a lot, and the fact that Laszlo's skin is blue now, will that change his perspective? I think so. It was maybe leaning towards that towards the end. Oh, something else that I thought of. Look at me, I'm just like reading my notes like, oh yeah. So like I said before, like 15 years ago, the gods enslaved the people of Weep, and a lot of those women that they took became pregnant. So obviously they had a lot of children. And we know that Arelphane killed a lot of children in the nursery, but those were the babies at that time. What about the women that they were taking before him and they had babies then? What happened to all those children? The god spawn. Where are they? Did they die as well? Where are they? Are they hiding somewhere? I don't know. Did he really kill all of them? All the gods? Can one man kill all the gods? I mean, yeah, he's labeled the God Slayer for a reason. Can he really kill all the gods? I'm not sure. I want to know where all the other children went. Like I said earlier, I gave this baby 4 out of 5 stars. I really like this one. It's definitely one of my new favorites, although I did pick on the beginning a little bit. Again, very delicious writing. Just took a while. It's not as compelling, but it's great. Very amazing writing. You'll love it. It's just, it is, some writers, I'm obsessed with their writing, and I really like Laini Taylor's style. I'm super excited to see what happens in book 2. I'm sad that it's only 2 books because look at this. This is gorgeous. You want to just have a whole series of that on your shelf. That was my review of Strange the Dreamer. I hope my thoughts were clear. They were kind of everywhere, all over the place. This is what happens when I wait 2 or 3 weeks to film a review instead of the day after like I normally do. Oops. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this review of Strange the Dreamer. Feel free to discuss in the comments anything I didn't mention. I'm sure there's tons of it. I would love to. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. My name is Ashley. This is Ashley Outpage. Bye guys. Thank you.